next door, if they're right there, I think I can hear their voices.
Yeah, I told them that we were meeting around 5:30,
They
so.
were here all that.
Or inside the rail.
They were here at
This
5:30.
size is free.
Been going all the time.
All right,
Some of that.
approval of minutes of the previous meeting, 12/6/2023.
Right, I move they be tabled.
You're gonna be tabled.
I did not get a chance to do them, I'm sorry.
Those in favor of tabling them? Okay, good. All right, selectmen's comments, Tom?
Yes, two things relating to grants. We got, so we have until the end of December to actually spend the money for the Get Ready grant that we got from Maine Connectivity. I think I've told everybody already that we did this. I asked for bids for this package of equipment that we can use to record and stream all the public meetings. And we got bid, well, I asked 3 vendors for bids, I got bid on one, it's about $7,000. We have 85 left in the grant money, so, I don't know if we need to vote on it or whatever,
We should.
but, it's, yeah, so, because we're gonna have to write a check before the end of December.
Okay, just to make it part of the public record, we should vote on it.
Okay.
Would you like to make a motion that we spend
Sure.
$7,000 on?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the bid from Data Defined to spend $7,800 on a collection of video equipment, meeting recording equipment, a couple of network cable runs to the meeting room.
And that will be paid for by a
That
grant.
will be paid for by the grant we got from Maine Connectivity.
I second the motion.
Okay, those in favor?
Awesome.
That makes it
Clear.
So I'll go ahead, I'll call those guys tomorrow. The other thing is that I mentioned in our workshop, the Community Resilience Grant Program is coming up for another round, that they'll be accepting proposals in the spring. And I'm going to a webinar next week to learn exactly what all of the features of the program are. But it looks like it's something that we'll be able to take advantage of, just based on a 10,000-foot view of the program. So that's it.
Gail?
Nothing.
Jason?
I don't have a whole lot. I did contact the water district about the price for relocating the hydrant out here. It does look like it's gonna be around $25,000. If you guys remember, we talked to Ruth. She believes that that'll all be part of this work that their grant money will pay for. The water district advised that maybe when we put out to bid the septic replacement, the same contractor can do the excavation for it. We'll work with them or whatever, and, just make more sense.
Is that something we can do this spring?
I believe we need to work on, we're gonna meet with Ruth over the winter, and I believe we do need to work on how we wanna put out this bid for the replacement septic. We're still waiting for Jerry, he's done the preliminary testing. But yeah, she's indicated that, we know we have to do with this coming,
Right.
building the
Right,
construction
they're
season.
gonna start on the road in 2025.
Yep.
They're gonna, I would assume they'll start sometime in the spring on that, so we're gonna have to get our part of it done
Yep.
before then.
So where does the hydrant get moved to?
Into the next piece of lawn, closer to the fire station.
Right by the fire station.
Yeah, right now it's too close to the
Right up by the
to the
tree.
road. That would free up that area and make it better for you guys. Steve, that's it, really.
That's it?
Yes.
I really have nothing tonight. Public comments? Nothing? Okay.
No.
Town administrators report. Kim?
Okay, I got a couple of things. The town office is back up and running again, thanks David and Jason, who consistently were here over the course of 2 days, checking on the generator in all hours of the nights. Frank Carlton has completed wiring the kitchen, so we now have legitimate outlets in there instead of running extension cords, and just, getting on Department of Labor's. And I wanted to send another thank you out to Jason and Nick for coming in on holidays and weekends with Frank to get that taken care of. I just wanted to remind Sean and Danny that I need the credit card bill submissions by next week if you have them.
Got the paperwork yet?
Haven't got a statement from the bank.
Okay.
That's why I
Hopefully those should be coming in, okay. And once I get that, then but by January 3rd, I'll need that for the
Yeah,
next
as
select
soon
board
as,
meeting.
soon as that comes in.
Okay, perfect. I received an email today that I thought was interesting. So the LD 290, those tax stabilization things, that we're supposed to get reimbursed back from the state for. So apparently, we are getting $5 from the state for every application we received for doing the paperwork, for the headache that it caused. So we will roughly get about $1,100. And I don't know what you guys want to do with that money. It's just, it's not offsetting the taxes, it's just money for administration work.
Realistically, it should go to undesignated surplus.
I would think so.
Buy some Tylenol first and then put the rest of it.
Well, the expense has been paid, so yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was
I
neat.
think the most legitimate thing to do with it would be put it undesignated.
They're
Undesignated
gonna have
surplus.
you create a new account.
Right. And then the next thing I have is, Jason had kind of put a little bug in the ear about possibly maybe changing the time of select board meetings. I know in the wintertime, it's nice to start a little earlier than 6. I don't know what everybody's schedule is basically like. Maybe start at 5.
It's just something we've talked about before.
Yeah.
In the winter, like, can we start at 5 o'clock, or is it, or can we do business and you guys come? I don't know what your
Wait,
schedule.
say that again, is that
Can you come at 5 o'clock? I mean, are you here at 5 o'clock?
Is that, would that disadvantage the public being able to come? I know that we don't usually have a big crowd
Right.
on board, is that a thing?
But normally they run.
Debbie, can you be here at 5 o'clock?
I don't know.
Sure.
There's a call?
I want to say normally they run into, you know, if we're having a select board meeting, sometimes they go in up until 6 o'clock. So if the public comes in at 6 o'clock and we can just take something out of order or out of turn or whatever. I don't know.
It's
But
just
normally we don't have a lot of
Well,
public.
it gets dark so much earlier in the winter and
Yeah.
everything, and you never know what the weather's gonna be. I see no reason why we couldn't
So
switch
you
to
thinking
5
of changing it, summer, winter, summer, winter?
Go back to 6 o'clock.
I don't mind it in the summertime because it's, you know, but
Daylight,
it's
yeah.
daylight.
It's just a thought. You gotta admit, in the wintertime, it's,
In the
I
wintertime,
don't mind
I don't want to be
5 o'clock,
here
but
till
I think it ought to be
7:30, 8
consistent.
o'clock.
yeah. Oh, I don't care if we don't change back.
I know,
People don't get off
won't hurt
work
my
a
feelings.
lot of times, so people won't have an opportunity to come
They-
because
you
they're
know,
not getting off work.
You know, Danny,
I'm usually
I
here
don't
at
know.
5 o'clock
Yeah, no,
every Wednesday anyway, so.
you know, Danny, we'll see that, and I'll see that on Facebook, Debbie, you've seen it on Facebook, you know, but it doesn't, if we met at 8 o'clock, it wouldn't make, you know.
Good for me, because I'd be in bed.
No, what I mean though is, I think folks that you see, some of those same people that complain on.
No, I know, I was just thinking of,
Yeah,
you know, making them more.
and to be honest with you, whenever we have special meetings, we generally meet earlier. So many times if we have a citizens or public, it's at 4 o'clock, 4:35. I mean, we're willing to do whatever's needed, but it just doesn't seem like that, you know.
Well, you
Wanna
wanna
try
try
it?
to start in January at 5, try 5 o'clock for a while and see how it works out?
What do you think, you have a problem with 5 o'clock, or?
Me?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
What about Phil?
Yeah, Bill does too.
The only downside to it is, when are we gonna do budget?
5's good
We're gonna do that at 3:30?
Well, why not? Why not start?
Why
at 3
not?
o'clock?
And
About
like we were
4:30.
talking downstairs, it's nice to do it not during the start of a select board meeting, so you're not rushed to be
So
here
we're
for the
doing a
meeting.
separate
Because
number.
normally we have something going on always
Right.
before the select board meeting.
Yeah.
So it's nice to, you know, maybe do it on a Monday or a Tuesday, where we, you know, you guys can meet at 4 o'clock.
That's not a
Have
bad
an
idea.
hour.
It's not bad to do it that way, because then it's something presented for the, even not
Absolutely.
necessarily for the public, but we have another presentation for
It'd
the
be
board.
public meetings anyways, the public
Yeah.
can come and
Correct.
sit there
Right.
and watch
But
us.
what I mean though is on a Monday, if we're doing budget, we say, Kim, if you heard from the workers' comp or this or that, then maybe by Wednesday, we just have more updated information. When we do it on a Wednesday, and we don't meet till the next time,
We could do it like the county meets at what, 9 o'clock on Tuesdays? 9 AM on Tuesdays, you know, nobody could ever make.
I think it would be a lot more productive, like you say, Jason, to do the workshop for the budget on a day other than the select board meeting day.
I have no problem.
Why don't we just try it at 5 o'clock for like 2
Yeah,
months?
let's start in
So
January
January
with
3rd.
5 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes, and if it doesn't work out, we can switch back to 6.
Okay,
Okay?
perfect.
Anything else, Keith?
That is it.
That's it. Road Commissioner, Jack.
I don't really have a whole lot. We've had quite a wind, as we all know. It's been a very gracious, remarkable help to the whole community with the fire department and so on. As far as I know, every road is drivable. There's still a lot to clean up, but there's wires involved and so on. I talked to CMP this morning, and we're supposed to be getting our howl back. So we're far more fortunate than people up in Chelsea. I was up in Waterloo this afternoon, and some of those places are devastated.
Up in Oxford County, they took a real
Yeah,
bump.
and so we're very fortunate. I would say that we, dodged another bullet pretty good, and so we're good. But the fire department and all their people, and our gang, our guys, our people, and no, I think it's worked out quite well. I don't think anyone had any ill problems with it. So we're good.
Our turn will come.
We'll
Sure.
It
It
Look at
rotates,
it this way, it's a good thing it wasn't snow.
Yeah.
it rotates around.
All right, codes officer. Codes officer, he sent us a written report, some good news on Bailey Golf Front. Teresa Gray and L.L. Harper have made it the first installment of Jorgensen, and Jorgensen's actually, they were working,
We
doing
were there
pruning,
today.
caging, and trying to figure out what needs. New trees will be planted this spring and possibly early fall, depending on the species. Actually, this update is a consent agreement between the town and the property owners. Chris has drafted. It's been sent to the property owners and their attorney. Once they review it, it'll come back to us to sign. 1501 Mill Road still has not been resolved. It's been inhabited in accordance to my request to the owner. It has not been inhabited in accordance to my request to the owner. However, I'm still waiting on permits and paperwork. He said he'd be traveling during the holidays to Kentucky and Indiana to visit family. He'll still be working by email and phone. Contractors who work in the area that I'm aware of have been notified. You all got a copy of the agreement, I think? Did you?
Do you want to see it? Or no?
Copy of the consent agreement?
It's a agreement between, it's a consent agreement.
No, I-
And,
Yeah, I just got it today, Chris handed it to me. And he said that Kristen wants to make sure that their attorney looks at it before
Yeah.
we even do anything, so.
it'll come back to us
Basically a draft.
before we sign it anyways, okay? There's that. Email structure, Danny.
I don't have a lot tonight, and then get back down working. We had 26 calls so far in December, 11 of them since Sunday. So it's been a busy few days along with the fire that was due to the storm and just sick people, and crews have been working alongside fire out on the roads, and they're all pretty tired. So, but we have hired a new EMT and another driver, so we're getting more relief there and getting people trained. And the Koosmal Charger had to be replaced in Rescue 2, which I talked about last time. The quote came in at $992. They actually sent the bill for $1,081.24. So I'm sorry it went over the $1,000. The original wasn't. Hazard waste fees or something is what the $80-some they said. And that was submitted this week. We also finally received the paperwork for the Maine EMS Sustainability Grant, which will be again from $15,000 to $100,000, depending on who applies and some magic numbers they have. And I've started, Kim gave me some of the paperwork, and I've started that process for that. Don't know when we'll get that, or how much exactly. And the one thing that came through with the applications, they're very specific about what it can be used for and not. We can't do capital improvements, we can't do a lot of equipment stuff for the trucks. But it will free up some other money that we can put into those things we need.
Is it a matching, Danny, is it a matching grant or 100%?
It's 100% grant. So it's not matching, they're mostly focusing on training, recruitment and retention. So hiring people, getting people, things like uniforms, a lot of training, buying training equipment, things like that is what their focus is. So in my plan, I'll have to say, this is what we intend, not knowing how much they'll give us, but like a certain percentage, this is our focus type thing. So, and I hope to have that done, I'm not gonna say before the new year, but at the beginning of the year, I'll have to submit the package, so, because, again, you know, grants, it's the language, so, and that is my report.
What's the deadline for that?
It's 45 days from when I got the package, which was like last Friday, was it, or Thursday, last week sometime.
So mid-February or?
But it's 45 days we have to apply. I want to get it in much earlier than that, to get in ahead of everybody else, so.
Okay. Sean?
Ready for this? Since the storm day, we talked about 26 calls of service.
Hey, Andy, before you pick up, Sean, let me interrupt you just for a second. I was gonna get back to this in a minute, but we're gonna start our budget process early this year.
Yeah.
So we need budget requests no later than February 15th.
Yep.
Okay, so,
Been working on it for a couple months already,
so,
so.
you know, we need, and then we will schedule time to sit down and talk with you and go over it after that, but we need to have it in our hands by February 15th, okay? Go ahead, Sean, I'm sorry.
26 calls of service on the storm day. That ranged from trees down, lines down, to a reported structure fire. The structure fire, the homeowner pretty near saved his own house. Once I arrived on scene, under 2 minutes after it was paged, his house was full of smoke, but there was no flame in the kitchen, thankfully, so we were able to save it for him. And that was a very, very good positive outcome on that. 44 calls of service so far this month. We are, I think I just saw call 222. Give you an idea, we ended last year at 171, I believe. So that's how much many more calls we've had this year. We've still got, what, 10 days left? So, just an FYI, that's, you know, payroll and all that other stuff.
Okay. Anything to do with this storm, the governor has declared it
Yeah.
as an emergency.
I've already started that process.
So, yes, anything to do with this storm, including running the warming shelter, which I understand you have to do until everybody has their power back. The same thing with you, Danny. Anything extra that, you know, above and beyond what you'd normally be doing during the course of this storm, track it. I mean, your diesel fuel you had to buy, everything, whatever you had to buy, because we can take it, if it affects your budget at the end of the year, we can take it out of unnecessary surplus to cover it, okay? Because we have that article on our warrant every year for declared emergencies, and this is now a declared emergency.
Okay. And also, and EMA's already reached out to the town directors regarding that, and we've started that process of the forms and all that stuff in the state. I gotta have that submitted by the 29th, I believe they want those forms. So I've started that process already. Haven't heard anything on, we've kind of let it go to the wayside this week, but the compressor that I mentioned last board meeting downstairs is still out of service. We haven't had a chance, the technician hasn't made it over yet. I'll probably follow up with him. We'll get through the week and we'll try it again on Monday.
This is the oxygen.
Yeah, the breathing air, for the breathing air. So we'll work on that. And I don't have any truck issues that I'm aware of right now. We're accomplishing truck checks tonight. I've got 2 membership applications. One is a junior. He's 15. He is friends with a couple of our other juniors. Real good kid. I've met him 2 times. He's coming around with the guys, met most of the crew. Seems to fit in well. I don't see any problems with him. The other one, this application was, I think it was submitted to Danny, and he's checked off fire and EMS. He'd like to do both. Gentleman that's retired that lives in Bath. I haven't met him yet, so we'll get him in, meet him, and see how that goes. It sounds like he's pretty ambitious about helping out. So.
Get back to the air tags for a second. If you needed to fill them, one of the other local departments.
Yeah, we're going to Bath right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to Bath.
I was gonna say, somebody around here would.
Yeah, the problem is they have to fill them for us. We can't touch their equipment, they have to do it. So that's the,
And that's only after you use them?
yeah.
I mean, they stay charged till you need to use them?
Yeah, well, they do. So remember the ARPA funds that paid for the 3? So those 3 came in. 2 of them had to go back because they leaked. Brand new out of the box and they were leaking. I wasn't real impressed with that, so those have gone back. Won't wait for those warranties or whatever else on that place, but yeah, that's where we're at, so.
The only other, so on new recruitment, are you able to support, so obviously they got us year and stuff and pay, so is that okay?
Yeah, we're gonna cut a couple.
Oh, okay.
We've got a few that
I
are,
mean, in your budget, I mean, obviously, we looked at it all downstairs and,
yeah,
obviously it's.
yeah, we've got a few that have pretty much pitted off, so we're gonna,
Okay.
at the end of the year, we're gonna have a little chat with a few people and,
Do we get our stuff back?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yes.
we'll get everything, everything's here for the most part, so we'll have everything back, but, yeah, so that's what I've got so far.
Okay. Any questions? Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, yeah.
Old business, anything on old business? New business. Review of bank records, reconciliation and taxes with the vice chair.
Yep, so Jason came in last week, and I reconciled July, August, September, and October's bank statements. So he signed off on that, so we are good to go. Bank's looking good. But what Jason and I wanted to talk about was maybe getting with the auditors and discussing why we have so many separate CD accounts in
Yeah, so it's,
in First Federal and here, and just these tiny amounts, and what it benefits us.
right, so right now, the checking account rate, or the undesignated balance rate is quite high, so it's over
Yes.
5%. So we're earning over 10, right now, when the money's up, we earn over 10,000 a month, which goes back into the fund balance, right? We have all these other accounts, and we have CDs for these weird, they're 1%, 3/4%, they're all different denominations, and we didn't know if we should, at some point, we should meet with the auditor and even Fast Savings.
What's the prominence of those?
Well, they were started, David, you guys, you and Dale know more about this than I do, but
We started back when Crispin was the chairman, putting money aside in the CDs for, I can't think of
We
it
have
off the top of my head. but
Townhouse, we've got
all
one.
kinds of little, things that, we had money that was designated to, I don't know, fixing cemeteries or whatever, and so we put it in the CDs. And over the years, CDs, when we were putting them in, they all got 5, 6, 10%.
yeah, they're high.
But, they've gone up and down and everything. I mean, for a long time, the ones I had down at the credit union were paying me 1/4 of 1%. I think, I would have thought they'd have been embarrassed to give me 16 cents a month, But, so, yeah, it probably, I think we ought to, at some point in time, set with the auditors, and we ought to look at all our accounts anyways. I mean, I think we have way too many accounts. I think we could simplify this a lot. And it just seems, it's like when you're working on your house, you add a room here, you add a room there, you hang a door here that didn't used to be there, or whatever, Over the years, we've just it seems like every time we've needed, something new has come up, we've created a new account for it. And I think it's too cumbersome.
I propose, so we will be getting the audit, right, at any time, the actual books that we all.
We already have them, I put them in your.
Oh, all right, so you already
We've
looked
already
at
got
all.
them, yeah.
Look at mine.
Well, I think what we need to do is, if you look down through all those, you'll see all these different listed. I think we need to have a workshop, go over it, figure out, so if the money, if all these, there's one for 30,000, there's one for 400, there's all kinds of accounts.
Yeah, and we have a bunch at First Federal as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just random,
That's right.
but, I mean, I
So-
know the auditors are just, right?
Yeah, so I'm not saying that we take the money and blow it, I'm just saying that we either use the money for what it was
One thing,
intended
we
for.
ought to research what it was originally intended for, and if none of it's been spent in years and years and years, we ought to question whether or not we need to keep it.
Right, or find out what we're legally allowed to do, or, yeah.
And we can, at the town meeting, we can have, decide to roll some of that over.
Yeah,
into the
we could always
undesignated.
roll it, we could lapse it in undesignated surplus.
What caught my eye was when we were going over the statements, though, and you see 5 point something%, you see over 10,000 in interest on the, and that's because taxes were just paid and all that. But it's like over here, we're earning 53 cents, and over here, we're earning some money.
20 cents,
That
yeah.
is all just hoping to build back up that, you know, at the end of the day. Anyway, that's all, that's all I do.
Years ago, when my sister was
Merry
the
Christmas.
assistant
Merry
treasurer.
Christmas.
Take care, Bill, thank
for the
you.
city of Bath, she used to sweep all the money every weekend
Yeah,
and deposit it in a CD or whatever for some kind of an interest-bearing account just for the weekend.
we're doing it nightly.
Yeah,
Many times over.
Yeah, and, I mean, she made the city of Bath, I mean, they've taken $35,000 every weekend just in interest over 2 days.
Yeah, remember, all that money you earn is just that much more you can take to offset taxes. So that's what helps this whole thing. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe in January, before we get too heavy in the budget, we should do that.
Yeah, let's have a workshop.
You know, earlier, but
Yeah,
anyway.
we ought to, Kim, we ought to talk to the auditors and have them review this and see if they.
They're so busy, they are right out, I mean, when I talk to Dean, she's like, we did 3 audits this week, we did this, I mean, so trying to get them is really hard.
And David, you know the
I mean,
trouble-
I can do my best, but-
I've talked to him, she's talked to him, we both talked to him, but it's just like, tonight, what was the money we talked about earlier in the evening? I already forgot it.
the FEMA,
It'll be a new account, no, the other one we were talking about tonight, the money you were getting back.
oh, yes,
The
yes.
$5 money. They
Yeah.
want every single thing in a separate account. This has nothing to do with these earning accounts we're talking about, but they want all this money in these accounts, and then at the end, we lapse that money into surplus, or we do something with the money, you know what I mean? So this $1,500 or whatever the money she was talking about, $5 for all this, you know,
Right.
that'll have to go to its own account. They won't, we say put it in surplus, but that isn't what they'll do. They'll all put it in its own account, and then in, you know, September, July, we'll say, what's this money, we'll forget, and then we'll,
Maybe we should talk to another auditing firm.
Well,
Just to do this, just to have, there must be somebody that has the expertise to look at this and say, you know, we can streamline this. You don't need 17 Office of Operations
Well, I think we
accounts
need
when you.
I have a friend who's a financial advisor.
well, the other thing we need to do though, real quick, is like,
I mean, maybe.
fire under roads doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that don't.
Maybe we could actually put stamps and pencils in the same account, you know, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just,
Probably could,
it's that,
We talked about some of those things, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it needs to be cleaned up.
Give us, in January, we get some time, Kim, maybe you and I will
okay.
see what
That's
we
fine.
do.
Yep.
All right, so, moving on, we've all got a copy of the proposed RFP we get on the
Right,
roof on this one.
Which I gave you guys a copy of this because I threw this together and I really don't know what to put in the spec for, you know, because you said tonight you want a separate thing for roofing and sheathing now.
Right.
So I'm looking for a little bit of tidbits that I could put into these specs of what we're looking for.
Right, we've got the right thing, we want an RFP, not a outright bid, because we don't want
Correct.
to be the ones to say, I think that gives us a whole out, you know, you're
Right.
the roofing specialist, not us, right? So you've got, now what, estimated time requirement,
Is this contract you've got somewhere else, or did?
I kind of tweaked one from one that we had for the trash contract for Riverside, and then also I pulled this from the city of Lewiston, because they had a roofing bid, and I pulled some of their language from there. They were a little way more complex than this, but I'm just trying to figure out what exactly
Yeah, the one thing,
it needs to be in here.
yeah, I think the one thing that we do need to include here is,
I don't think you should say bidder's name, bidder's address, bidder's telephone, you should say just name, address, and telephone, because we're not asking for a bid, we're asking for a request for proposal.
yeah.
Right.
And I think there maybe should be either another bullet point or a preamble that says what exactly we're expecting you to do. Like, we want you to do the entire roof of this building.
I would say we do the entire main roof, but I don't see the necessity to do the one over this addition, because it's fairly new.
So we should specify what it is, what,
And disposal's a big thing, we've got to, because you know how that goes, right?
Right.
Like, if we don't have disposal, they're like, wow, we left here a big pile of shingles, and garbage, right? We don't wanna deal with
You know,
all
I
that.
have a recent, I recently did roofing at my house, and I have what Horch gave me.
Yeah.
They list all the things that they're gonna do. They're gonna clean up the mess, they're gonna do,
Yeah.
do this, they're gonna deal with the sewer vents, they're gonna deal with the drip edge, they enumerate all the things that they're gonna do, which we probably should say, we expect you to do these things.
Well, bring that in, I'm not above plagiarizing.
Well, no, I think we should work on that, and then if the worst case, Kim, we could always make this February 15th, right? Yeah.
We
But-
can,
but
I mean,
when
I'm
we-
just,
we don't-
we don't really wanna do this until the spring anyway,
We
right?
don't have the money to do it
I
anyway.
know,
And
so,
so,
I just threw some dates in there, but
yeah.
We're expecting this to be in like 50 grand, 40 grand, something like that.
I would think you're looking
What's
at,
your roof cost?
I would think you're looking at minimum 40 grand.
I would think it's a big roof, yeah.
Minimum 40 grand, if not, I wouldn't be surprised if it came in at 50
Can they
or
give us a
60.
bid this time of year with price changes the way they are?
Well, I'd want them to guarantee the bid for 90 days, the price for 90 days. I think they can do that. Because most of these guys have enough of an in with their suppliers that they can say, look, I've got to give a 90-day,
We know what you learn from it, Dale, is they tell you that. So the RFP comes in, they say, look, this is what we will do, and this is the way I do RFPs. If I do one, you can ask what you want, and if you just say what you can do. And then when we look at them all, we say, oh, this guy guarantees his price till August 1st, this guy says
well,
no.
one of the big outfits that's advertising on TV all the time says that they'll give you a bid, and it's good for a year.
Right,
So, I mean, any of them that are big enough, and they buy enough material and everything that they usually give you at least 90 days.
Well, I think we just have to have a starting point anyway, right?
Right.
We're not supposed to be roofers, so, what we know, but no, but Tommy is right, though, the things that we do know is we gotta keep the town office accessible, right? We want the garbage picked up, right? We want to know what it costs to remove and replace, and, I mean, obviously, there's ice and water shield, and what about the sheathing? What we don't wanna do is we don't wanna surprise, North Station obviously was difficult, it turned into a complicated roof, you know?
Well, this thing, the last time we had this roof done, it did not work well.
Yeah.
We had shingles coming off and sheets and.
I'm kind of a stickler too, is there's a hatch right there, right?
Right.
And Frank goes up there all the time, and I think it's really important that these people know we need to know what they think, right?
Right.
You can walk in there and look at the underside of the sheathing,
Yeah.
the roof, so you know, it's a big roof, so.
Yeah.
The one thing that, if it's just gonna be the fire side, then we're gonna have to make sure that they do it in such a way that it won't block the garages or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
So they'll probably have to use staging or, do something to stay out of the way.
Well, if they did it in decent weather, we could always put the trucks out while they were
True.
working. I mean, we could have a crew here every morning and put the trucks out.
But we might wanna mention that in the request for proposal to
Yeah,
say.
it's an active-
You need to make sure that the firehouse
And
is
there's access to the
there's
firehouse.
gonna be a way to have full access in and out of the firehouse.
No, I think you're right.
All right, so we'll tweak this, put this back on the agenda for our first meeting in January.
okay.
And we'll, in the meantime, Tom, if you can find.
I'll find that and
contract,
send it
No,
out.
thank you, Ken. This is,
Maybe,
it's a good start to the.
maybe if you touch base with the MMA, they might have a bullet,
I put it out on the listserv to see if I could get, a town that had a roofing spec, if I could get, nobody replied to me. I barely know.
Well, no, this is
I
perfect.
think a lot of people have been really busy the last
You have to
couple
do it this week, I find.
Well, the advantage is, so we healed the roof up, it's not leaking right now, we know we're on borrowed time, right?
Right.
But what we also have is, we've gotta go into budget, we gotta figure out what it's gonna cost, and we gotta come up with a realistic,
Right.
is it gonna be done by August 1st, is it gonna be done by July 15th? It appears that if we can fix it with a quick patch job, we can hopefully haul it to, right?
Perhaps a shoot.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Woolwich is color.
Yeah, I know, why,
Anything else?
standings from there.
Anything else you going to bring up?
No, sir.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Yes, Merry Christmas.